So now we are going to discuss a question, mean difference from Codechef starter 213. So in this question, we are given an array of m integers and we are given an expression which is f of b is the maximum value of b of I minus b average, where b average is the average of the chosen elements. And we are asked to find the maximum value of f of s. And here s is a subsequence from array A. Okay, from array A, we have to choose a subsequence and then we have to compute the average and we have to find what is the maximum value we get of b of I minus b average. And here it is the absolute value. Okay, so let's take an example and understand about this question in detail. So let's say my array that I'm choosing is 8, 5, 9, 1. If this is my array, now I can choose any subsequence, it doesn't matter. Let's say I'm choosing a subsequence which is 8, 9. And now for this subsequence, if I try to find the average, which will be 8 plus 9 by 2, which will be 17 by 2, which will be 8. Now my B average is 8. Now if I try to find the value of this B of I minus B average, it will be 8 minus 8, which will be 0. And then 9 minus 8 will be 1. So the maximum value from this will be 1. Max will be 1. Now if I take 8 and 9 as a subsequence, I got maximum value as 1. Now, if I choose one more subsequences, let's say if I choose 8, 5, 8, 9, and 1 as my subsequence, then my average will be 8 plus 9 plus 1 by 3, which will be 18 by 3, which will be 16. Now, if I try to find the answer for this elements, 8 minus 6 will be 2, 9 minus 6 will be 3, and 1 minus 6 will be 5. And here I'm taking an absolute value because the question they said it has absolute value. So the maximum value that I got is 5. Maximum is 5. So if I take 891 as my subsequence, I got the maximum value as 5. And if you take any other subsequences, we can take any subsequence and we have to find the answer. And the maximum answer that we can get from this array is the 5 only. So the answer for this test case is 5. Okay. Now, the idea or the intuition behind it is very simple, but we need to make few observation. And to make few observation, let's take one array and try to understand it. Let's say the array that I'm choosing is, let's say 200, comma 1, comma 20, comma 300, comma 400, 350, comma 40, comma 10. So now we can choose any elements into our subsequences. Here, the order of element doesn't matter, even though it is we have to find a subsequence because we are trying to find average. We are trying to find the average and we are subtracting the current element from the average, which are chosen already. So I can choose any elements in any order. So let's say the first element that I'm going to choose will be the minimum value of the array or minimum value of this entire array of my subsequence. If I take any subsequence, the first element I'm picking is minimum value. So let's say 1 I have chosen. Now I need to choose some other elements into my subsequence to get the maximum average or to get the maximum answer. Now the next element I'm choosing is, let's say, 400. Okay, the first element I chosen is 1 and the second element is 400 for these subsequences. Now I took a subsequence of length 2. So now if I try to find the answer for these subsequences, I'm trying to plot this in a number line. So 1 will be somewhere here and 400 will be somewhere at the end. Now if I try to find the average, my average will be somewhere in the middle, which is will be 250. Okay, so for 1 comma 400, my average is 250, so 200. So it will be 200. Okay, now If I take one more subsequences, which is 1 comma 400 comma, now I'm picking the next maximum value, which is 350. Now if this is my subsequence, and if I try to plot it in the number line, 1 will be here, and 400 will be here, and 350 will be here. Now in this case, my my average will be 250 now. Okay, 1 plus 400 plus 350 will be 750, and 750 by 3 will be 250 something around. Okay, now the next subsequence I'm going to choose will be 1, 400, and 350, and I'm going to take now 300 into my subsequence. Okay, this is the new subsequence that I took. Now, if for this subsequence, my 1 will be here, 400 will be here, 350 will be here, and 300 will be here. Now, if I try to find the average, which is 1 plus 400 plus 350 plus 300 by 4, then my average will come to 262. Okay. So, here, if you see, initially I took a length array of or subsequences of length 2, then I got 200 as the average, then I got 250, then I got 262 as the average. Here, if you observe, my average is getting increased every time. My average is getting increased every time. Why am average is getting increased? Because initially I took only two numbers, then my average got to 200. Now when I add 350, which is greater than this average, my new average just shifted towards right. And then if I take one more element which is 300, which is greater than this 200 or 250, then again my average got shifted towards right. Now, if my average is getting shifted every time towards the right, and I'm fixing this minimum element, and in every subsequences, my minimum element is 1 act. Then, if my average is shifting towards right, then can I say average minus minimum value is increasing? Yes. In all these subsequences, my minimum value is 1. And if I keep on adding maximum elements into my subsequence, my new average is shifting towards right. If it is shifting towards right, then average minus minimum value will also get increased. And that is what we have to find it here. We have to find B of I minus B average, where B of I is the minimum element in the array, and B average is the average of the chosen element. So if keep on adding maximum value, then my average is increasing. If my average is increasing, then average minus will also get increased. Yes. No. Yeah. Now here, in the first we took a minimum value. We fixed minimum value. Now we'll try to fix maximum value into our subsequence. Now if I try fixing the maximum value, my first subsequences will be 400. Then now other elements I'm going to pick is the minimum value. So let's say 400 comma 1 is the subsequence, new subsequence. Then same again, 1 will be here, 400 will be here, then my average will be 200. Now if I take one more element which is 400 comma 1 comma 10, because 10 is the next minimum value, then 1 will be here, 400 will be here, and 10 will be here, and my new average will be 1 plus 400 plus 10 by 3, which is 137 something around. So my average will be here, which is 137. Now in similar way, if I try adding one more minimum element, which will be 400 comma 1 comma 10 comma 20. 20 is the next minimum value. Then my average will be 1 plus 400 plus 1 will be, this will be 431 by 4, which will be 106. So my average is 106. Now if you observe one thing here, initially for this two elements, my average was 200. Then my average got to 137. Then it went to 106. And here I fixed the maximum value. If I fix the maximum value, then can I say my average is decreasing, even though my maximum minus average is increasing. Yes, even if my average is decreasing, my max minus average value is increasing. That is what I want, because I want to find the maximum value of this expression, which is bi minus b average. Bi is nothing but bi is nothing but the maximum element of the array, and average is the new average that I'm going to get every time. And the new average I'm getting is by adding minimum elements of the array. So the idea or the intuition is very simple, that we first try fixing the minimum value as first element of my sequence. Now I will try adding maximum elements of that array, and I keep on finding what is the average, and I will find what is the average minus mean value. This is I will find every time, and I will maintain what is the maximum value of average minus mean. Now in the second case, I will take maximum value as one element, and again I keep on adding minimum elements into my subsequence. Then I will find average, and I will find max minus average, which and I will try to find what is the maximum value of max minus average. I will maintain a variable and I will store maximum value of average minus mean and the maximum value of max minus average over the entire array. Then this will help us to solve the problem. Yes, for the time complexity will be O of n, because we just need to iterate once to find the answer for this, and plus n, it will be O of n plus n. In big O terms, it will be still n. The first we have to find what is the maximum value of average minus mean for that entire array, and in the second iteration we have to find what is the maximum minus average for the entire array. And we can pick minimum element or maximum element from this array by first sorting the array. If we sort this array, then we'll get 1, 10, 20, 40, 200, 300, 350, and 400. And here the order of element doesn't matter, even though we are asked to find a subsequent, because we just finding the average and we are calculating a b average minus the current element. Yes, and the current elements we have fixed as the first element or the last element, depending. Yeah. So the time and the space complexity will be, we will not use any extra space. It will be open. I'm not giving code because it's just algorithm based, which is like implementation based rather than algorithm based. Yeah, thank you.